Hi everyone, welcome back to Watch It Played. My name is Rodney Smith. In this episode, we're going to continue and probably conclude our playthrough of Legacy: The Testament of Duke de Crecy. But before we get started, there's one mistake I made in the last episode. When I used the undertake a mission action, I drew one mission, but you're supposed to draw two, and then pick the one that you want to keep. So let's take a look now at this one called Control the Spice Market. This one is way better than the one that we picked up before. Control the Spice Market says that you just need to have 2 craftsmen in your family and then pay 1 gold. We already have 4 craftsmen in our family, so I'm going to discard the military training and keep this one instead. So if I had done this properly, I probably would have already completed this mission by now and then gained the benefits. But I didn't. Oh well, I'll just complete this mission during the next round. Speaking of which, it's time to get started with that. And we had, again, some great suggestions from our viewers. Alex and Sarah get the most votes. Alex, we are going to do what you suggested, but I'm going to put a little Rodney spin on it. I actually agree with your suggestions. I just want to do them in a slightly different order. So let's go to the table, see what Alex wants us to do, and how I'm going to mangle it. Now, Alex correctly understood that we've already got this hint completed. We just need to have a sister of one of my grandfathers that was an artist. And we have one sitting here that can be easily put into the family. So he focused his attention on how we would complete these other 2 hints, and that's really where his actions came from. But I would like to start by getting Eliza into the family and then go on to those other actions. So let's start with a who were they action and place Eliza as Pauline and Robert's daughter, which makes her John and Charles's sister. Eliza lets me gain a friend. If I take one of these friends, I have to take the other because you can't leave a single friend remaining face up. I'll place those there. And Eliza also gives me a green additional pawn if I have another British member in my family, which I do in several spaces, so I'll take the green pawn. Now we need to put out some new friends here. So we've got Olga and Evangenia. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that right. I'm probably not. Lucienne, Helena, and Miranda. We've also completed this hint, and that means that our prestige is going to go up by 1. Now, the other thing that Alex wanted to do was get Ariane into our family, and I think that's actually a good idea as well. It's going to allow us to collect another friend. Yes, we'll lose some prestige, but her special ability is that you can add her into the family for free. It doesn't take up an action. Now, before we get to that, I just noticed something I can't believe I forgot. Eliza's going to give us 3 gold. Patrick would never forget about that, so we'll add some more gold to our collection here. And now, what Alex suggested was that we put Ariane as Laurent's mother. The problem is, we're running out of room here, so I think what I'm going to do is spread things out a little differently and give us some more space to start growing Laurent's side of the family. Well, I've clearly made some changes, but I'm really glad I did, and I'll tell you why in just a moment. But first, let me just give you a quick tour of the new layout. So here's the family tree, of course, that we've been working on, the gold that Patrick currently has, the mission card we haven't completed, the hint cards that we have completed, and the action pawns we haven't used yet. Over here are the 2 hints we're trying to complete. Our player board is down here, and these are not Laurent's other children. These are the friends that we currently have in our hand. Now, I was saying that I was happy I had to move things around a little bit, and here's why. I had a chance to look at the friends that we just drew out, and there is a perfect one here to have as Laurent's mother. So I'm not going to put Ariane here. I'm going to put her, what I was thinking was, I'd put her over here as Angelique's sister, so my aunt. And it just goes to show you how different people can turn out. Angelique looks like a pretty stern and stiff woman. Ariane a little more sultry and spicy. Families are funny that way. So I'll take this child card away, and Ariane is going to give us another 3 gold, which I'll take and add to Patrick's ever-growing wealth. Ariane didn't have the greatest reputation in the community, so I am going to lose some prestige for her being in my family. But now I get to collect a friend. And I'm going to take Evgenia. I want to tell you why this is such a great one. She's an aristocrat and a Russian. So in one family member, we have everything we need to complete one of our hints. This is perfect. So I'm going to place her here as Laurent's mother. So currently she has an unknown mother, and then we'll need to find an unknown father for her as well. She is going to cost us 1 gold, but I certainly feel like that is well worth it. She's also going to give us 2 friends, and I was looking this over as well, and I feel like Olga and Miranda might be the best fit because Miranda is a nationality that will work well with Maria if it comes down to it. You'll see that in a second. And Olga has a similar ability that works well if you have a Russian in your family, which we certainly do now. So those friends have been added. We'll also gain the yellow additional action pawn. And this hint that said there needs to be at least 1 Russian and aristocrat on your father's side of the family is completed. So now we just have 1 final hint. And just as a reminder, the final hint says that we need to have at least 3 craftsmen on our father's side of the family. And Laurent counts as one of them, so we just need to find 2 more. And we do have one right here in David, and that's another one of the suggestions that Alex had. We need to get David into our family. But we've used up our actions for this turn. Well, sort of. I forgot to place this one here when I put her in the family. Okay, now we've used up our actions. Well, I do have these additional action pawns, but I don't want to use them just yet. Each of these will cost us money, potentially friends, and I want to make sure that I have enough to get the job done. Maybe once we complete this hint, then I'll look at using up some of these additional action pawns. One thing I will do, though, is complete this mission. It is going to cost me 1 gold, but I figure I can afford that since I'm going to be collecting my income very soon. Now, the reward is that I get 2 honor, and my income goes up by 1. And I just realized I forgot something else. I was so excited about this new member of the family. My brain's all scattered. She's going to give us an additional prestige. So actually we made up for the less cultured member of our family over here. Okay, I don't think I've skipped over anything else. So now I'm going to collect income. And we'll get a total of 6. So Patrick's prominence in the community is really escalating as he's proving more and more the value of his family heritage. It would seem that people are valuing his work as a stable master just a little bit more. All right, but now it's time to go on to round 8 and we'll collect these action markers. All right, Alex, let's go back to your other suggestion that we get David into the family. Let's perform another Who Were They action, and we'll put David as Laurent's father. Now there's an interesting thing I've just noticed. As great as this card was, Laurent had a parent who was an aristocrat, but he turned out as a craftsman, which disappointed his mother deeply, and we're going to lose a point for that at the end of the game. I still think she was worth it though. But these are things you have to consider when you're creating your family tree and trying to maximize the amount of victory points you're going to collect in the end. David, of course, will have some unknown parents. We're going to need to find a female here. And he's also going to cost us an additional $1. But he is going to cause our income to go up by 1. We are going to lose 1 prestige though. Thinking maybe David was an aristocrat originally and that's why these 2 were married. But then he got tired of that lifestyle. He wanted to earn an honest, hard-working living, making shoes, apparently. And perhaps that's why Laurent picked up craftsman as his passion, much to the chagrin of his mother. But you know what? There's something to be proud about in an honest day's work. And David is going to provide us an additional 2 honor if we have a venture in our family, which we do, right over there. So we're going to gain 2 more honor points. And now it's time for our second action. And this is where things get interesting because we need to get another craftsman into our family. I have none amongst my friends. There's none here. So not only do I want to wipe these friends away and get 5 new ones out, I'm also going to need to collect one of them into my family, which is going to take an action as well. Usually you pick up friends by adding females to your family. And looking at these 2 here, this is what I was talking about earlier when I picked up Miranda. She's going to work well with Maria. Let me show you how. I'm going to put Miranda into my family using another Who Were They action. Now the question is where? I'm actually going to give myself a little bit of space and put her over on this side. And I'm thinking Miranda is a fortune teller. Maybe she was Robert's mother. Robert was an explorer. Perhaps she told him he was going to find great fortunes out there in the world and that inspired him to go traveling. She'll need an unknown mother and father, and she's also going to give us 2 gold, which I'll take right now, and she's going to allow us to collect 2 friends. So we can take these, add these to our current friends, which means we're going to be able to put 5 new ones out. But again, we're going to lose 1 prestige. Maybe she was outed as a fraudulent fortune teller. And you know what? Maybe that's why Robert became an explorer. He was embarrassed by his family and then took off to go somewhere new. She does have an ability, though. It says this generation, each time you ask friends for money, you gain 2 gold more. I doubt we're going to have the actions to spare for that. Right now, let's reveal the new friends, and hopefully we're going to see a craftsman in here, or else we could be in some big trouble. Okay, that's not a craftsman. That's not a craftsman. That's not a craftsman. That's not a craftsman. And that's not a craftsman either. Okay, well, we've got a new challenge here. I'm going to have to look at this board for a bit and see if I can figure something out. Now, I know it doesn't look like any time has passed, but I've actually been sitting here reading over the friends, and I have made a wondrous discovery. Although we did not draw any craftsmen, we're not sunk yet. Femi is going to be able to help us out. Her ability allows you to discard all of the friends beneath the main board and then draw out new ones. It's not a sure thing, but I've got to believe there's still some craftsmen left in this deck. But first we actually have to be able to collect her, and that was really my thinking behind putting Miranda here. But before I get ahead of myself, let's complete that round. I'll take back my actions and then collect my income. 7 gold will be added, and then we'll move the round marker. And this is it. I mean, we've got 2 actions left to make this happen. And putting Miranda into the family is going to give us, hopefully, the extra actions that we need. Because Maria can be added to your family as a free action if you have another Spanish member in your family, and we sure do. That's why Miranda is here. We rolled the dice a little bit here in this diceless game, but it might pay off. And you know what? We can give ourselves some points. If we put Maria as Miranda's mother, then we have a descendant whose nationality matches that of one of her parents. That's going to give us a point. So a who were they action to put Maria here, and she doesn't cost us any gold. We don't lose any gold either. This family tree continues to spread out, however. I'll find a father for her. And then she's going to allow us to collect a friend. And we're most certainly going to collect Femi, and I shouldn't have placed this action marker here. Again, she was free to play, so I got a little bit ahead of myself there. I got a little caught up there. So she's going to be added to our friends. We'll gain a prestige, and now we'll do a who were they action to add Femi into the family. I've just noticed one other mistake that I made. We have 2 known members of our family, so a child should have been born here, and it was a male. Some of you probably saw that and were yelling at your screens. I apologize for that, but I did catch it in the end. Now let's put Femi into the family, and as crowded as it is, I think I'll put her right here. So an unknown mother and, let's see, unknown father for her. She's going to actually give me 1 gold. I certainly like that. Femi gives us a friend. None of these particularly appeal to me. This one could give me some honor, income, and prestige. So we'll throw Louis into our friends list. We also gain a prestige, and that's good. But the most important thing is we can now discard all of these friends, and let's hope. Let's really hope that we find a craftsman. And I left off the most important part, because not only do you discard all those friends, but of the new ones you place out, you get to take one. Okay, so this is not a craftsman. This is not a craftsman. Oh dear. This is not a craftsman. So close, so close. A craftsman! Oh, it's Nicholas the craftsman. He is a petty merchant. Well, I tell you something, there's nothing petty about him at all. He is going to help us win this game. We've also got Victor, who's not a craftsman. Phew! All right, well, there's no doubt about it. I am going to take Nicholas and add him to my friends. I don't know about you guys, but I'm thinking as our next action, we add Nicholas to the family. Now the question is, where do we want to fit him in here? Well, this is going to give us some space, so I'll put Nicholas right here and give him a mother. You can probably hear it in my voice. I'm pretty happy right now. This is going to work out nicely. We do lose $1. That's $1 or a gold brick well spent. We're also going to gain income, which is nice. We're going to lose some prestige, which I feel really bad about because if anything, I'm honored to have Nicholas in the family. We'll also gain an orange additional action pawn and 1 honor if we have another craftsman in our family. We certainly do, so I'll take that and the honor. And now we get to complete the final hint. So that gives us 1 prestige. And really, we could stop here. This is the end of the round, but we do have some additional action pawns. Now, initiating a venture isn't going to help us. We lose 2 friends, we lose an honor in order to increase our income, but money doesn't give you any points. We could buy a mansion. We'd have to throw away 1 friend and lose $3, but that's going to give us 2 prestige. So now it's all about maximum points. So I'll spend 3 gold, discard Olga, and then add a mansion to our family. I'll tell you exactly who's getting this mansion. It's going to be Nicholas. Enjoy the mansion, buddy. And we'll give ourselves 2 prestige. We're almost off this prestige board. And you know what? Let's use this additional action pawn as well to contribute to the community. Sure, people laughed at the petty merchant. Said he wasn't a significant member of society, but he changed their minds when he created the Park of Leisure. This is going to reduce our income by 3, and it's also going to cost us 12 gold. So, oh, there's a 5 sitting here in my 2 golds. I hope I didn't pick up a 5 when I was supposed to pick up a 2. I don't know if I did that. Well, I've got more than enough to pay for this park one way or the other. So I'll pay these 12, and now we gain 9 honor, which puts us to 31. Well, now we get to do the final scoring, and we're going to add 22 prestige to our current honor of 31. That's 53. We're actually off of the chart. So I'm going to put this on the 3 marker, and we'll just add 50 to our final number. Now we're going to score some additional honor based on how our family tree is laid out and the nationalities that make up the different parents and children. We'll gain 1 honor if at least 1 parent matches the nationality of any of the children here. For example, Miranda matches the nationality of her parent, Maria. Now, Maria, we don't know the nationality of her parents, so we don't gain or lose points because maybe one of the parents was Spanish, maybe they weren't, we don't know. But that's going to be 1 point. And Robert here, we know one of the parents is Spanish, but we don't know if the other parent was British or not, so again, we don't lose points for that. It's only when both parents are known. For example, in this case, we can see that Eliza, who's British, one of her known parents, is also British, so that's another point. Same with Charles and John. So that's a total of 4. We don't count the French nationalities. Looking over here, we have too many unknowns to be certain one way or the other. So we'll gain 4 points. Now you also lose an honor point if you have a non-French descendant that doesn't match either of their parents. But looking over the different nationalities here, they either match or it's unknown, so we're not going to lose any points for that. You also gain a point if you have family members who became aristocrats and one of their parents was a craftsman. Looking over this, I don't see any situations like this, but you lose a point if you're a craftsman and one of your parents was an aristocrat. And I do see an example of that here with Laurent. He had a mother who was an aristocrat and he became a craftsman. There's actually an aristocrat over Angelique here, but this is not one of Angelique's parents. This would have been one of her uncles. So we only lose 1 point. We also lose a point for each unfulfilled hint, but we fulfilled all of them, so no adjustments there. So that's a grand total of 56 honor points. I really don't know how to explain this. I've played the solo variant multiple times and lost each time, and here I am with you guys playing, and we won. We didn't just win. I gotta think, 56 points is a pretty good score, right? I don't know, I've never won before. So if you've won before, put your score in the comments below. Then it'll give me something to compare it to. And if you haven't played the game, but you think you might in the future, well, the bar has been set. Can you get 56 points or more? I feel like when I was playing this, boy, my brain was scattered. I was forgetting steps. I think I remembered them all eventually. So you'll have to let me know if there were any mistakes in this video. But in the end, we pulled it off. And I promised you guys in one of the earlier episodes that we would have a contest to give away a copy of Legacy. And I want to thank Portal Games because they're supplying that copy for us to give away, which is, I think, is really generous. And all you have to do is send an email to watchitplayedcontest@outlook.com. All right, you'll see it on the screen there. And then in the subject of the email, just put, I want to build a Legacy. You have to put that exact subject line. Don't worry, I won't be writing you a response back to let you know I got your entry, but I checked the junk folder, I checked the inbox. You'll have until the end of the day, May 11th, 2014, to get your entry in. As long as you follow the instructions correctly, you will get added, and then we'll do a drawing episode a little bit later after that May 11th date, and we'll see who the winner was. Listen, guys, if you have any questions at all about anything you saw here, don't hesitate to put them in the comments below. I'll gladly answer them as soon as I get a chance. But until the next episode, thanks for watching.